I had been assigned temporary additional duty, what they call TAD, to COSDIV 11 as their PSYOPS officer because they were starting to evolve into Operation Sea Lords, which stands for Southeast Asia Land, Ocean, River, Delta Strategy. And that was a big deal. They were taking all the boats, small boats, into the interior to stop interdict traffic. So we had PBRs, the Swifts came into the river and everything like that. The amazing thing to me was the Swift drivers and the Swift crews were totally untrained in river warfare, and but they learned pretty well. Well, my job has been to psychological warfare, which was kind of in its infancy, and I reported in June of '68, and was basically still getting my feet wet. But when I was assigned to COSDIV 11, we started going in the interior a lot. Before that, I was using small operations with the Vietnamese. I lived with the Vietnamese. I was a Vietnamese advisor. But now I started in the boats. So we had a big operation that they wanted me to conduct, or my kind of group, and that was to take supplies up to a village called Kai Nuk. It was on the Baihop River, right up the Baihop River. And the reason they wanted that is because there had never been a boat, never been U.S. forces, if you will, in the Baihop that far up. Yeah. So this was going to be a first operation on this particular river, going to Kai Nuk, which was had American advisors with some regional forces and popular forces. They were called Rough Puffs, RFPF troops. So we were going to take supplies up. A lot of the South Vietnamese flag and food and stuff for the kids and everything. So make a big show of the flag. So so I went from Mantoy down south and picked up the 94 boat at that time. So we had 3 boats, a 3-boat operation. We put supplies on the boats, and these guys, at this point, I knew who they were, but I didn't know them. So I ended up on the 94 boat, then the 3 boat, I can't remember the other boat. But we went down, there's a little bay called Square Bay. We were all circling around, kind of like a World War II deal. We were circling around before we get in, and Tom was doing all the radio work, and I was standing on the starboard hatch. And we started in, and to get in from this Square Bay, which is a big piece of water, we had to go in a little canal and go in and then make a hard right, and it was maybe as wide as this room. It couldn't have been 25 feet wide. And as we go in, I'm looking off to the side, and I'm standing there, and I look over to the side, and there's a bunker it was like 10 feet away, and there was a bunker with a firing hole in it, and I just absolutely, I must have turned white and everything, because I said, I can't believe, I'd never...
Is anybody in it?
I said, yeah, is anybody in this thing? Well, of course, we just kept on going, and nothing happened, but I said, man, this is going to be really interesting. As soon as we got in, we split up the 3 boats, got one side and the other in the middle, and however they were and up the river we went. Well, as I like to say, at some point, not too far later, the excrement hit the whirling blades, and there were bullets flying, things flying, people talking on the radio, and so I said, well, I might as well get in this thing. So I got an M79 grenade launcher. So we literally fought our way up. So we got to Kai Nuk, and it was really a good reception. They knew we were coming, and it was really great. We had some pictures and everything. My point is, at that point, we were all happy and everything, and sweaty, and it was hot. And I was saying, this is a good thing, and the little kids were around, and these guys were wonderful. But I started thinking, because we weren't going to stay too long, I started thinking, we got to go back.
Exactly.
They know where we are, and they know we're coming back, and they know how fast we go, and they know how we're. And I didn't say anything, but that's when. And so we literally fought our way back, and from that point on, I became very close to the 94 boat, because they were truly a Yeah, somewhat. I rode a lot of boats, and they were sort of pretty unique, and I used them as much as I could. So I was between two worlds. I lived with the Vietnamese. I did a lot of med caps. I did a lot of intelligence work with my little ambush team, and we were up and down rivers on the junks and stuff like that. But whenever I needed the help from the Cosliv 11, or they wanted some psychological stuff going on, I was in part of that. And they really got to the point where psychological warfare wasn't their bag. So
we made him turn off the speakers.
Yeah.
He at some point he had speakers, so you can hear those. You can hear the boats a mile away, but you can hear speakers 2 miles away. So we sort of convinced them that don't.
It was part of the command. Psychological warfare wanted speakers and Chuhoi leaflets and everything, and it, that's what I was supposed to do.